we can't go without mentioning Sir Andy Murray, and obviously his final Wimbledon. And Freddie, I'll come to you on this as an outsider in terms of not being British. What did you think of Emma Raducanu signing on that dotted line to play mixed doubles with Andy, and then at the very last moment she dropped out? I know there was a couple of more than a couple of words said amongst certainly the journalists in the UK, but maybe it's fair game when you're still going in the singles. I don't know.
I think it is definitely fair game, and Andy, having been in the game, must have known that the same was going to happen. I mean, I know that he knows that he's Andy Murray, Sir Andy Murray, and maybe that had a special pull for her. And I don't know how it took place. The conversation was like, "Hey Emma, we're playing this. Otherwise, I'm finding somebody else to play." Or maybe Emma said, "Yeah, I'll play," but I mean, based on what happened, it didn't seem like that was the case. But yeah, I would love to play, but we can't account for the rain, or maybe I go deep and the scheduling. I mean, Andy would be the first to understand. Like, he would have obviously done the same, and understand that. I mean, a guy who has literally turned every stone and weighed every rice grain that he ate will obviously understand that a singles player who is making a run chooses to prioritize that instead of a nostalgic match, which was, I mean, they were obviously playing to win, but it was, I mean, if you're being really harsh, it could be a match that was just there to be played for a goodbye. So I can completely understand from the outside, and he must have known that was a risk.
I think I'm a bit sort of split on it, because I look, I'd have done the same. If you're a singles player, you're in it, you've done the same. However, I think if you do that, you got to also be willing to take a few hits and some criticism on it. You're gonna get some criticism for doing what you've done. And I think what was found a little bit strange is that the Raducanu camp didn't accept that either. And apparently they changed the reasoning as to why she was pulling out, and just say, yeah, I'm gonna have to pull out. I'm still in the singles. But there was the strange stuff, some of the strange rationale, like she was disappointed about going on last. Mixed doubles always on last. You're never getting mixed doubles first on centre. It's always going to be centre. There's no doubt about that. Always going to be centre. You might.
Well, it was court one, right?
Sorry, one of the show courts. I mean, not centre. It's always going to be one of the show courts. They're not going to put it on court 2, or anything below that. That in mind, because it's mixed doubles, it's not going to be on anything, but they're going to have to get through the singles matches. So she was sort of saying that, well, she thought if she would have played, if it could have gone earlier, but that was never going to happen. I also, apparently, I was told that they'd agreed, when he agreed to do it, that he'd agreed with her that she would play regardless, because I think he had a couple of other high profile options that were absolutely guaranteeing that they wouldn't pull out. I think I'd heard Andreeva and Coco Gauff were both very interested in playing it, and Coco always plays doubles. She wasn't going to pull out.
And that's also what I was thinking about right now, is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we heard anything from Andy. So if there'd been some kind of understanding that it's okay, he would probably have come out to defend Emma. But since we haven't heard anything, that also tells me that he was thoroughly expecting to play.
We heard from Judy.
Yeah. Astonishingly, we heard from her. Yeah, but that tells me that obviously he was expecting to play and had been giving those reassurances. So that's why it's tough to talk on, because from an outside you can obviously understand that would have been the case, but he must have been given assurances. So if there's an internal agreement that she breaks, I obviously don't find it nice, but it's tough to speculate about from the outside, right? But you can kind of insinuate by the reactions afterwards that he must have been given assurances that he was going to get to play that match.
Yeah, and I think as well that Andreeva was already out of the singles at that stage, so she'd basically said that she wanted to play. And yeah, it's not the big net, it's not the huge name that Raducanu is, but Mira Andreeva's going to be a huge name as well, and she's hugely charismatic,
and they've got a fun story as well already.
Yeah, 100%. So I think if that was the case, I mean, I'd heard a few people go, I mean, even then though, I'd heard a few people going like, well, it's ridiculous that he couldn't get another partner, but like, you kind of can't change the rules. But then I had to think about it. I thought, well, it's mixed doubles. You could actually change the rules because like, there's no ranking points or anything at stake. It's basically like an exhibition event. If you read, they could have maybe just gone, all right, okay, Sandy Murray, put someone in. And would anyone have complained? Like,
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Probably would actually. Probably would, yeah. But,
what tennis players complain? No, never.
Yeah.